Hey guys, this is Mr. McKee with Net 126. I wanted to go ahead and go over the Skills Integration Challenge, which is Packet Tracer 8.3.1.2. And one thing you might be a little different on this video versus the other videos on YouTube, I'm actually going to go through and go step by step and show you guys how to do it. Alright, so it might be a little different, but we'll get through it. It should make a lot more sense though. Alright, so first thing, let's look at our diagram. We've got 4 PCs, each on separate VLANs. We have a switch 2 right here, and the switch 2, this is kind of hard to figure out, but it has FA01 through FA04 are trunk lines coming from there going to other switches, and you've got access ports, which are actually, there's only 4 here, but looking down here, FA05 through 09 is for VLAN 10. That'll be a DHCP pole right there on that network. And then VLAN 20, FA10 through 14, which takes care of that one right there. And 15 through 19 is VLAN 30 marketing. DHCP poles right there. And PC4, FA20 through FA24. VLAN 40 for HR and VLAN _40. Alright. Big thing is take your time going through here. Make sure the way Packet Tracer grades, it is case sensitive. So if you make a DHCP pool that is, say, lowercase VLAN _10, it's not going to grade it correctly. Alright, so just understand that. And looking up here, we've got redundant links going to our switches, but then we have one router going out of our network, and then you have an ISP going up this side. So this is kind of like your DSL router or your cable modem at home going out there. It's going to get a DHCP address from the ISP on that interface, and then on this interface we're actually going to let inter VLAN routing go on. Okay, and then a DNS server for everybody's out here, and then we should be able to get to this remote server when we're done configuring everything. Alrighty, and I've gone ahead and checked this thing to make sure everything works, but this is all our stuff. PCs are all going to be DHCP assigned IP addresses and other information. Here's our VLAN configurations. Alright, so you will be configuring VLANs, trunks, DHCP server. You're actually not, well, DHCP relay agents, we're not going to be doing that because we only have one router to configure. And configure a router as a DHCP client, which we'll do that on that router. Alright, so first thing, go to S2. And by the way, you can't click on S1 and configure it or look at it because it's disabled. Alright, so just know that. So we're going to go to S2 and make sure all that's shut. Alright, so go to command line, enable configure terminal, and the global config. Alright, so create VLANs on S2 and assign VLANs to appropriate ports. Okay, so these are our VLANs. VLAN 10 is going to be best Ethernet 5 through 9 and so on. So let's go ahead and set those up. Alright, so VLAN 10 is going to be the name, sales. And VLAN 20 name is going to be production. VLAN 30 name is going to be marketing. And VLAN 40 name is going to be HR for human resources. Alright, hit enter. Alright, so let's get out of this. Next out of that. Alright, next step, configure S2 ports for trunking. Well, first thing we need to know is what needs to be trunk ports. Alright, so, and this looks weird because it's not sticking right there, but these are all our trunk ports. FA01 through FA04. Alright. So let's go ahead and configure those. or actually, you know what? Let me assign the VLANs to the appropriate ports first. Alright, so interface. And we're going to do all the ranges. I know you don't have to do this for it to grade it correctly, but in real life you're going to need to put the ranges in. Interface range FA05 through 9. Alright, we want to make that switch port access VLAN 10. Alright, and let me see if I can do it this way. 10 through 14. Yep. Switch port access VLAN 20. And the way I get back to my history is up arrow or down arrow. Alright. So we got switch port VLAN 10 set up, switch port VLAN 20 set up. Let's do 15. I'm looking right here. FA015 through FA19. That's going to be switch port VLAN 30. And finally, interface range is 20 through 24. That'll be switch port access VLAN 40. Alright, so 4 separate VLANs. We couldn't be able to talk together except for we're going to be setting up the router to be able to do inter VLAN routing. Okay, so that's good. Let's exit out that. Alright, so configure S2 ports for trunking. Let's go ahead and do our trunk ports, which these 4 interfaces are trunk ports. Alright, so interface range FA01 through 4, switch port trunk. Alright, and shows all 4 of them going up. Alright, so that's cool. Next thing, and configure all non-trunk ports on S2 for access ports. Of course, I've already set them all up because I put all the ranges in, but if we had extra ports hanging out there that we hadn't configured yet, we'd go ahead and do this. Interface range FA. So 05 through 24. 1 through 4 are trunking right here, so everything left over is 05 through 24. Alright, so I'm going to tell that switch port access mode access. Alright, it's done. And that. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what else we got. Alright, so router R1 to route between VLANs. Subinterface name should match the VLAN number. Alright, so VLAN 10s are here. Name sales. Alright, here's our networks. And if we look up here, giga00.10, that's our first subinterface, that's the IP address, that's the subnet mask. We got to give it that information. We have to tell it, let's see, we have to give it the default gateway address, which these are all default gateways, and the subnet masks. So that's pretty easy right there. That actually tells you, even if you didn't know what these solder notations are, it tells you up here. Alright, so we're good to go. So we're going to go to router 1. And the global config. Alright. So let's go ahead and set up our interfaces, sub-interfaces right there. Alright, interface giga00.10 is our first one. Encapsulation is going to be .1q10 for VLAN 10. Alright, IP address. And I keep tabbing to autofill in the command, but it's going to be 172.31.10.1. Let me just make sure that's right. Yep, right there. Alright, 255.255.255.224. Alright, and let's expel that. And let's do interface giga00.20. Encapsulation, just make sure you keep that as the correct. Make sure if that's 20, your encapsulation is 20. Alright, IP address. These are pretty much in order. Should be 20.1. Let me just make sure. Subnet masks are not the same though. Make sure those are corrected. Alright, IP address. Exit out of that. 30. Whoops. How about we do interface giga00.30. It likes that a lot better. Encapsulation 30. IP address is going to be 30.1. Make sure, let's see, 128. Let's exit out of that. Let's do interface giga00.40. IP address is going to be 40.1. And we got a 192. Oh, almost made a mistake. 40. Now let's do the IP address. 40.1, and it's a backslash, or I'm sorry, .192. Alright, so how are we looking now? We should be pretty good there. Alright. Configure R1 to act as a DHCP server for the VLANs attached to S2. So it's going to assign IP addresses from here to these computers, right? Or actually the VLANs. So the whole VLAN is going to get their own DHCP pool, which is pretty cool. Alright, so let's go out of here. Let's exit out of that. Let's figure this out. Alright, so IP, the DHCP pool right here for VLAN 10 is going to be that. And alright, configure DHCP to provide the default gateway address, which while we're thinking about it, let me just do a do show run. Alright, there's the connection to the ISP. Alright. And I'll get back to that. But that's going to be our DHCP giga01. Alright, that's our default route. Giga01 description, connection to ISP. There's no IP address on it yet. Alright, so oops. Get back to this. Get back to R1. Alright, so let's do Control C. Let's do our IP DHCP pool. And make sure you do all uppercase for VLAN 10. Network. 172.31.10.1, or I'm sorry, 10.0. 255.225.224. Alright, so we're looking at this. It's the whole network, so it's all dot zeros, but use that subnet mask. Alright, let's see. Our default gateway is going to be 172.31.10.1, which is right here. Alright. And our DHCP server is our DNS server. DNS server is going to be this right here, 209.165.201.14. 165.201.14. Alright, so let's do see if IPDCP. See, it's not letting me do that, so it's not a good command. Let's exit out of that. Let's do IPDCP pull VLAN _20. Alright, our network for that one's going to be 31.20.0 right here. 240. Whoops. 255.255.240. Default gateway router is going to be 20.1, which is our .20 subinterface. Same DNS server for everything. Alright, let's exit out of that. Let's do DHCP pull VLAN 30. Network's going to be 30. Right, make sure you're using the 128 mask. Default router is going to be 30.1 right there. DNS server is going to be the same for everybody. Let's drop this. Let's do IPDHCP pull VLAN 40. Let's do network 40 and backslash, or I'm sorry, 192, which is backslash 26. .192, 128, 192. Actually, that's a 4. Yep, that's right. 128, 192. Alright, so we got those. That looks pretty good. Let's exit out of that. Alright. Prevent the first 10 addresses from each pool from being distributed to end devices. So we're going to do some excludes in there to exclude those addresses. We know these are the networks, so 172.31.10.1 through .10 and so on down here. Got to exclude all those addresses. Alright, so IPDHCP exclude address 172.31.10.1 through 172.31.10.10. Alright, that's our first set for VLAN 1. go through here and just take out the third octet, 20.10, and just make sure, let's see, 20.10, 30.1 through 30.10, alright, and 40, 40. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Verify each PC has an address assigned to it. Correct DHCP pool. Before I do that though, I want to do, let's exit out, let's do a show run, and let's just make sure everything's right. Alright, exclude addresses first. Make sure that's right. Those are all correct. DHCP pool VLAN 1 is, alright, VLAN 10, that's correct. Default routers 10.1. Those are all right. These are right. These are right. These are right. I like checking myself before I actually check the results for packet tracer, just to make sure I know what I'm doing. Alright, so gigabit 00 is shut down. You still got to turn that on too, but let me go ahead and do all this stuff. Alright. So first thing you probably want to do is enable configure terminal interface giga00. Alright, when you put those sub interfaces in for gigabit 00, you gotta actually what I'll do is I'll shut it down first, and then I'll do a no shut, bring it back online, and then it tells me all sorts of stuff's going on. Alright, so all that stuff's going on, everything's up, everybody's happy so far. Let's hit fast forward a couple times till we get most of the green lights. Alright, everything's looking good so far. 71%, that's good. Alright, next thing we got is we want to turn on these PCs to get DHCP addresses. Alright, verify each PC has an address assigned to the correct DHCP pool. Gotta go here, go to desktop, everything's set to static, cross fingers. Alright, that one's on VLAN 10, that seems to be okay, make sure that's right. Okay, 30.10.1, 224, that's right. Let's turn this one on. (31.20.11) and 172.31.20.1 through .10 should not be assigned IP addresses, so 11 is correct. Alright, default gateway is this interface. PC2 is on VLAN 20. Alright, so that looks good. Let's do VLAN 30 with PC3. Alright, VLAN 30. That's right. That's right. Alright. Make sure your DNS is right. Okay. And finally 40. Let's do that. Alright. Something's up with that. The default gateway is not correct. First thing I would do is go ahead and look. 172.31.40.11. That's right. Let's go here. Let's make sure that everything that's been assigned has been assigned. Let's go ahead and, alright, so VLAN 40 is not working. I would say first go to S2. Let's check S2. Your terminal. Alright. Actually, So let's exit, show run. All right, and we're looking for F20. All right, F20, it is on VLAN 40, so it's good. All right, so that should be all right. Let's go ahead and go to, whoops. Let's go to R1, check it out. Enable show run. All right, so oh, look what I did. IP DHCP VLAN 40. It's missing the default gateway address and the DNS server. Okay, so I want to go ahead and hopefully I can still see this. So keep this up here. Control C. All right, so I want to do a no IP DHCP pool VLAN underscore 40, which will take this out. I'll take that out. Right. Oh, actually, let me go into global config and try that again. No IP DHCP pool VLAN underscore 40. All right, so that's out. Just to verify, let me do a do show run. All right, it's gone. All right, so I want to do an IP DHCP pool VLAN 40 underscore 40. All right, network. And it's going to be 172.31.40 40.0 255.192. All right, our default router should be 172.31.40.1, 31.40.1. Right, DNS, it's going to be the same. Of course, I don't have that in my history, so let's do the DNS, tab over 209.165.201.14. Hit enter. Let's do an exit. Let's see. Actually, let's exit again. Show run. All right, that one now is correct. Make sure everything's right. We're at 91. I still don't want to click on my results. Try to figure it out. Let's click back here. All right, this is not going to update until I go to static and then click DHCP again. All right, now it might take a minute for it to update. The only other thing I can see, and did it actually tell us in here, DHCP address assignments may take some time. Click fast forward to speed up the process. Configure R1 as a DHCP client so it receives an IP from the ISP network. Alright, so that's the last thing we need to do. So we're going to have to make this interface automatically be assigned an IP address from our ISP. Alright, so let's go out here, let's go in here. We want to do Control C, configure terminal, interface gigabit 01. Alright. Actually, let's see. Go to this. And alright, IP address. IP address. And if you didn't know it, question mark DHCP. IP address negotiated by DHCP. DHCP, put it in there. Alright, Alright, no shut to turn it on. Now we should be getting some. Let's do a fast forward. Alright, oh, we're at 100 now, so I don't even have to click results. I'll click results if I have to, but I don't want to have to. Alright, if you guys run into problems though, you can. Hope you enjoyed watching that. That was a little long, but hey, that's the way it should be done, and that's following it step by step. Alrighty? And verify everything's working. You guys can ping stuff if you want to. I know everything's working. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this video, and if you guys are in my Net 126 class, I'll see you guys in the morning, and just take your time on this skills integration challenge. It is difficult, but it is doable. Hopefully the video helped you out. See you later.